Hey, Transtastic. It is Thursday, which means I'm making a video, and I guess my cat will be in it. So, this week we're talking about our dads and being dads, and this is kind of a complicated topic for me, actually. I guess we'll start with my dad. Oh, hi. Oh, I'm your dad. So, my relationship with my dad. Well, actually, my relationship with both my parents is a little complicated, but I love my dad a lot. We are pretty close. We go shooting together sometimes, and we like all the same movies and shows and everything, and we're very similar people. We click really well, and we're pretty similar socially as well. So, yeah, we're pretty similar. That's nice to have him, there. Both of my parents are conservative Republicans, and I see that as a character flaw. Not in all Republicans, just in them, because the things that they say and the way that they think, it bothers me a lot of the time. It's it for my relationship with my dad, it makes it a little complicated because of some of the things he says. I finally, as I was getting older, I kind of realized that if I had just met him in another setting, I don't think that we would really get along that much. But as father and child, we do get along pretty well. And I actually have a tattoo for him. This is my tattoo for him. It's in his handwriting, and it says "one day at a time," and his sobriety anniversary, and his initials. So he is a recovering alcoholic. He's been sober for 10 years this past November. And that made a huge impact on my life. I mean, that's pretty personal. But for a while, I really hated him, and he did a lot of shitty things to our family, and I held a lot of resentment and anger for a long time because of that. But that was 10 years ago, and it's taking me a long time, but I was finally able to let it go and just be proud of him for being sober. So, as far as being a dad goes, this is the part that is a little complicated. I am adopted, so I do not know my birth parents, and I am attempting to find them, which is the whole nother story. But, I mean, they're the only parents I've ever known, but I didn't have a very good childhood, and I'm not happy at home. Um, I'm just not happy. And so being adopted kind of adds to complications for me with having children. I never, ever, ever wanted to be pregnant. There was never even a fleeting moment where I had any desire to be pregnant. I never in my whole life. So that was always out of the question. I always figured that, well, when I was identifying as a straight female, I just figured that I would, have a surrogate carry my child. And then when I was a lesbian, I figured that, well, I didn't really think about having kids. I don't even know if I want kids. So I don't really remember what I thought when I was a lesbian about having kids because, I think that part of me just thought maybe I could use a sperm donor that looked like me and my partner could carry the child. That worked for me. And now that I'm trans, uh, we are really close to, and by we, I mean scientists, are really close to being able to combine two eggs and fertilize them and make a baby. So that's kind of what I'm counting on as far as far as having a biological child goes, I know that the whole process of freezing your eggs is very complicated and expensive, which I don't have the money for right now, and I just don't have the money for it, so. And I won't anytime soon. As far as adopting a child goes, I will never adopt a child. I understand that, you know, there are kids out there who need a good home and everything like that, but I am adopted, and I just, from growing up, not knowing anyone who looks like me, and growing up just with a lot of internal turmoil, I guess, I just personally would never adopt a child. I'm just never, I'm just not into it. I'm not interested. The whole not knowing anyone who looks like me piece has been extremely hard on me. I know that I have a family out there, and um, the very idea of physically resembling somebody else is extremely strange to me. I just don't know. I've never experienced that. I've never looked at anyone who I have shared any physical resemblance with. So, you know, the whole idea of having that with someone is just totally unknown to me, and I don't know what it's like, and that is it hurt. It's very hurtful for me, because that's something that a lot of people who aren't adopted take for granted. And that makes my desire to want a biological child even greater. I feel like I will do anything in my power to someday know someone who looks like me. And I don't think it's going to be my biological parents, because unfortunately I don't think that it's possible for me to find them. But I I do want a biological, I do want someone who looks like me. That's the bottom line. I've never known anyone who looks like me, and I just feel like I'm on an island, basically. Like, there's no one above me, and as far as I know, there's not going to be anyone below me, generation-wise. So it's a very isolating feeling. Oh, hello. Noah. She's cute. So yeah, it's a very isolating feeling, which makes me feel very lonely and sad. The reason that I don't know if I want kids is because I am scared to be a parent, and I'm scared to raise a child. I had a pretty crappy childhood, and I mean, my mom was emotionally abusive toward me, and still can be at times, and you know, I'm just afraid that I'm going to want to seek some sort of revenge on my child, and, you know, say, oh, well, I didn't have that, so you can't either, you know? So I'm just very scared that I'm going to be my mom, basically, is what I'm scared of. I haven't really decided. I am 22, so I still have time. But the clock is ticking, biologically and just generally. After I graduated college, I felt very old. I feel very old now, and I feel a lot of pressure to settle down and um like have a family. But as I said, financially that's just not an option, and you know, I'm not mentally ready or emotionally ready for it. So here I am. I'm just gonna wait. So that's my video this week. Next week we're talking about bottom surgery, which I am not looking forward to, because I have had tons of bottom dysphoria recently, which has not been fun, and it won't be fun to talk about. It just won't be. It'll suck. But stay tuned for that. I'll try to make it as uplifting as possible. What is she eating? Alright, see you next Thursday.